The Racing Postcast in association with Paddy Power. They prize support UK and Irish racing the night before.
Hello, welcome along to the Racing Post Weekend Preview Postcast. I'm Bruce Millington, and the expertise is provided by my Racing Post colleagues Graham Rodway and Paul Keeley. We've also got from Paddy Power Rob Catterson with all the odds and hopefully a winner or two as well. Call it the Weekend Podcast. It's actually a Saturday podcast. We've decided we're not even going to bother looking at Sunday, A, because the lads can't find anything, or in Paul Keeley's case, he couldn't be asked to look. So instead, we will focus on some great action at Sandown and Haydock Park. The Coral Eclipse at 3:45 Saturday is the feature event. 7 runners, and their prices are as follows, Rob Catterson.
Right, as follows, we've got the French Guineas winner, De Gurka, who was second, the St James's Palace. He's the 10 to 11 market leader. It's now 7 to 2 time test. Good support for him overnight from 9 to 2. Second favourite, My Dream Boat, the Royal Ascot hero, is 4 to 1. Hawk Bill, another Ascot winner, is 8 to 1, and it's 20s bar. OK,
well, before we hear from the lads, let's hear from Clive Cox, who trained My Dream Boat to victory in the Prince of Wales Stakes and is hoping to repeat Al Kazim's double in that race and this 3 years ago.
It's a very hot race. I don't, by any stretch of the imagination, feel overconfident. I'm just very happy with the feeling we're getting with our own horse. It's a lot of instinct, really, but Stuart Shilston rides him at home all the time, and he's very happy with the way he's feeling. And I think we're all very much aware that he's totally at home on the ground.
There's Clive Cox, who, by the way, all the Racing Post reporters agree is one of the nicest trainers in the game. They always like looking forward to him. He's always good for a quote. So he's got a decent chance there. Graham Rodway, we'll start with you. First of all, what do you think the going is going to be at Sandown tomorrow? So what can we expect? Will it be a big factor, or has it dried out enough to hopefully suit most of them?
Very hard to say. With it going good to soft, you'd probably say it's now drying, but it's typical Sandown, isn't it? It never dries up as quickly as you think it's going to. It often gets very testing on the flat track there. It's hard to say without seeing any races, but I'm going to be erring on the side that it might be going more good to soft good rather than the other way.
OK. Kills, you're probably actually the man to come to first because you walk your dog a mere probably 3 miles from Sandown, don't you? You've got a pretty good idea of the terrain from that, haven't you?
Yeah, I was staggered. I mean, this time last week...
Are you still wearing wellies when you walk the dog?
I am. I've got holes in my wellies. I actually found holes in both wellies, which I only just bought a few months ago. And I thought, spring's over. Like, I won't need any until the winter. So I've been going around in just soaking wet feet virtually every single day.
They sell them in shops. If you've got a garden centre near you, maybe?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, you have, haven't you? Horton Park.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've got loads, yeah.
Pop down there and get a new pair of wellies.
Yeah, no, like you said, I can't be asked. But anyway, standing water on the track this time last week, and we have had some rain virtually every day since, but it's supposedly dried out to good to soft. Funnily enough, the sprint track had a going reading yesterday of 5.2, and they've called it heavy on 5.1. But they're calling it soft, good to soft in places. Now, I wouldn't want to disagree with Andrew Cooper because I think he's one of the best clerks of course around. But I'd still want to wait and see because I have a feeling he's going to ride sticky testing ground.
OK, well, we'll get some clues from this afternoon's meeting, obviously. Let's get stuck into who's the burning issue of who's going to win. Graham Rodway.
The Gurkha is obviously hot favourite and deservedly so. I thought he was not unlucky, but I thought we should probably have won the St James's Palace. I thought was definitely too far off a sort of modest pace and then finished very strongly. I expect he'll stay, but he's priced accordingly, isn't he? And I don't see there's much between himself and Time Test on form. I was very impressed with Time Test when he won the Brigadier Gerard, and surely if we were turning up on good to firm ground, I mean, Time Test would be a lot shorter than he is. And although, yes, he is a much better horse on faster ground, that is factored in the price here. It's not like we're being asked to take a short price about Time Test. I wouldn't surprise me if you got 4.9 to 2 about him, and he's my idea of the winner.
What about you, Kills?
Well, I put up Hawk Bill earlier in the week each way. Now there's only 7 runners. It makes far less appeal because I just thought that My Dream Boat had a really hard race at Ascot. I thought he might blow out. I am quite concerned about the ground for Time Test. I mean, if it does dry out, then obviously he's a major player. But he's got to prove he's a proper Group 1 horse first as well. I mean, let's take into account that he's running a couple of Group 1s and he's got well beaten in both of them. His form with Western Him makes him no better than My Dreamboat, and I don't think My Dreamboat's a proper Group 1 horse, despite having won the Prince of Wales.
With My Dreamboat is that he did have a hard race at Ascot, but how many times have we seen these Clive Cox horses in the past? They have hard race after hard race after race. They seem to thrive on them. I mean, the likes of Profitable.
Can I just ask here, I mean, what's the difference between the race that the Gurkha had and the race that My Dreamboat had at Ascot? It's not like the Gurkha who was sitting there smoking a cigar in the final.
They went at it a fairly long way out, and he was right under the cosh on My Dreamboat from a fair way out, whereas it was more a quicken. You know what I mean? They didn't start quick until really late in that mile race, and that's why the Gurkha was caught out.
Okay, so on Graham's point, how often do you kind of say of a horse before its next race, blimey, that had a hard race last time, and they actually run like it was still filling the fence? Is it one of those kind of mythy sort of things?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, he did win a Sandown, and then he went to Chantilly, I think it was, and he ran pretty poorly behind Ashley Nukari. Obviously, whether that result was a fluke for the winner or not, he didn't run his race, so he has got a bit of previous of not backing up a good run.
Who are you backing, Kills?
Who am I backing? I'm probably going to sit this out. I think the Gurkha might win. I'm not convinced he was the best horse in the St James's Palace. I thought he would have taken at least another half a furlong to have caught Galileo Gold. But I'm not convinced that he's a proper Group 1 horses, and he very much is one. Okay. But it's going to be a tactical race. I can see, obviously Countermeasure is, to all extents and purposes, useless compared to this lot. So that one will be ignored. I'd imagine Bravery might be in there to keep the gallop honest, but Hawkbill will have first shot at him because he's a forward, prominent racer, and you know what it's like at Sandown. If you can nick a couple of leads coming around the bend, sometimes you stay there. So I'd give him a chance. I'd be keen on him each way if there was 8 runners, but typically there isn't.
Oh well, there it is. Rob Catson, who do you like here?
Yeah, I suppose the key is the record of 3-year-olds in the race. Like only 2 have won since Oratorio beat Motivator, and there've been 2 superstars in Sea the Stars and Golden Horn. There's nothing in that league here, and the Gurkha, the jury's still out, even though he was a good winner in France. And on a straight line through Western Him, I think My Dreamboat is the value, but this lad I think will be even or bigger in the morning, and he's worth taking on. Okay,
I suppose the only other one we ought to cover is one that Rob mentioned there, Western Him. Either of you got a strong view either way?
I'm not a massive fan of him. Just the way he holds his head. I know that he seems genuine enough, but he has now put together a string of 2s and 3s, hasn't he? He's not my cup of tea.
He's a solid Group 2, 3 horse, but he's been given a weight and beaten by both Time Test and My Dreamboat this season.
And he's not even really been that this year, has he? Solid Group 2 or 3. He's been beaten in a couple of them.
Okay, there's some cracking stuff on the Sandown undercard, which we'll get stuck into next.
Here's Paddy Power's latest horse racing offer. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second to the SP5 at one meeting every day this month. Paddy Power, you're welcome. Max free bet £25, 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Okay, let's take in the 2 o'clock, the Coral Charge. It's 5 furlongs, really big field, very competitive, and Brando is the favourite, isn't he, Rob? Give us a show.
Yeah, he's the handicap specialist. He's the 2-1 market leader. It's 9-2 Spurred Quartz, 6's Logout Island, 8-1 Monsieur Joe, 12's Duke of Firenze and James Memory, and 14's Bar.
Hills, we like Brando, don't we? Just for his failure to have got up and won the Woking.
Yeah, absolutely. I was delighted with him. Almost one of my favourite horses for that. Funny enough, I thought this could well be a race between the 2 Wokingham horses, Brando and Outback Traveller, and unfortunately I lumped on Outback Traveller and he's a non-runner, presumably because they think the ground is too soft for him. I was looking forward to seeing him over 5 furlongs. Brando now though, 2-1, that is a ludicrously short price in a competitive race, especially from stall 8. We all know you need to be drawn low, so I'm drawn now towards Willie the Conqueror. He's a double figure price. He's drawn in stall 4. He's got good form at this course. He won a handicap off 90 earlier in the season. Was second to Eastern Angel, who was one of the joint favourites for this before coming out. And he just didn't quite get the run at the right time. And that was on good to firm ground. He likes soft ground. I think he'll run a big race at a double figure price.
Kills likes Willie the Conqueror. Graham Rodway likes.
I have a very simple strategy for betting in 5 furlong races at Sandown. I only ever back horses drawn 1 or 2, or I don't bet in the race. simply because not only do you have to be drawn low at Sandown, stalls 1 and 2 have an unbelievably good record on the course, and this season they've already won half of the races over the distance at the course. So
we've got Humidor in 1 and Duke of Firenze in 2.
Yeah, the problem is Humidor has got a bunch of duck eggs by his name. He's got absolutely no form. He's a right old character. You never know which Humidor is going to turn up. And all his best form is on downhill tracks. And this is obviously complete opposite, a stiff uphill finish. And you can make the same case about Duke of Firenze, who's got bundles of pace, wins at Epsom, Goodwood, York, mainly flat courses. If I was going to back either of them, I'd have to back Duke of Firenze because I couldn't risk Humidor. But it's not a betting race.
Sick if he won at 33-1 though, having made such a great case about the draw.
Well, yeah, don't get me wrong, I'll probably be having a small saver on him at that price, but I don't expect him to. I couldn't seriously tip him.
Of the low drawn runners, I wondered if Monsieur Joe might have half a chance. Can you endorse that view, Kills?
I can't really. I don't think he's quite good enough. I do like the trainer. Paul Misley's very good with his sprinters, but and he won at Hamilton recently, so he's got a bit of form with him. But
what about Logout Island? Saying that I'm just going to smash out like I did the other day.
He could smash out, but he smashed out at 5 furlongs though, and he ran no race. And at Ascot, in fact, he was beaten 2 furlongs out at Ascot. So he's going to try and do this against 5 furlong specialists. That was a fluke.
He's a funny horse, isn't he? We don't know. He's a bit like Humidor, isn't he? Will he turn up and be brilliant or not?
Okay, Rob Catterson, do you have a view on the Coral Charge?
Yeah, not particularly. Brando E is very short. He'll be bigger tomorrow. And I agree with you with regard to Logout Island. He reminds me a little bit of last year's winner, Wadi. He's not a Group 1 horse, but he's pretty solid in Group 3s enlisted, and the race conditions suit, and he might get things his own way up front. So at 6s, he looks at an each way start.
All right then, 2:35, the Coral Challenge, another competitive, difficult race. 16 runners at the moment. Let's hope it stays that way. How do Paddy Power bet?
Right, joint favourites as we speak. Best of Times and Muta Macklin, they're the 5-1 joint favourites. 7-1 White Lake, 8-1 Dunica. It's 12s then Battle of Marathon, the top weight, and You're Fired. Also Secret Brief and Fireship, 14s bar.
Right, first of all, just answer me yes or no. Have you got a strong view on this race, Graham?
Yeah.
And have you, Kills?
Yeah, reasonably, yeah.
Graham sounded more confident, so you can start.
Donker for Robert Edery and Tom Marquand has been on my radar since he finished second first time out in the Spring Mile at Doncaster. I thought he was a bit unlucky not to win that race. Everything didn't really go in his favour. He ran well next time out. He was 5th in a hot listed handicap at York, and you can completely forget his last run at Royal Ascot when he stumbled early and again didn't get the best of runs through. I think you'll see a much better performance from Donker here. He's well drawn in stall 3. Should get a nice toe through the race. Just need luck him running up the straight, as always at Sandown. You never quite be sure if you're going to get through.
Follow that, Kills.
Yeah, funnily enough, that's one of the 2 that I tipped in the weekend. I can see it. I don't know what the rules are, but Tom Marquand rode out his claim last night, so he's probably not being able to claim the £3 on it here, which doesn't help. But
I think you can claim if you've been booked with the claim. So if he was booked with the claim before, I think he's able to use it.
Because he's declared on the card with the 3 on,
that's
isn't he?
double handy. I mean, he rode a brilliant race to lose his claim last night. I mean, there was such a slow pace. He was out the back, and he just made the decision, go round the outside, take it up early, and he just completely outpaced the lot. And
do you think he'll survive the loss of the claim? So many don't.
I hope so. I think if he rides like that, he will, without a shadow of a doubt. He did really well. The other one I like. Let's go for the outsider. Well, he was an outsider. I see he's down to as short as 12-1 now. Fireship for William Knight. It's only 9 months ago that he ran to a Racing Post rating of 108 at Sandown when beaten a couple of lengths by Elm Park. He's running off 80, I think probably about 87 now because he's a couple of pounds out of the handicap. On his old form from last year, he was also only just beaten in a Group 3 in Ireland. He's got a fantastic chance. Now, he's dropped in the handicap for a reason. He hasn't been running very well. But he's run reasonably well on a couple of starts this season. And I think he'd go well at a big price.
Does a wide draw concern you, Kills?
Not necessarily. We don't know how soft the ground is yet. I mean, they might actually come across to the stand side, in which case it won't be a problem at all.
Okie doke. Rob, who's the winner in your eyes?
Yeah, no major opinion. It's a wide open race. I'd give Best of Times a good chance for last year's winning trainer. He's disappointed in his last couple of starts, but he had good form last season, and he's got a stack of big race entries. So at 5s, he could be value.
And remind me what price Paddy Power are about the lads' tips. Donker for Graham and Fireship for Keels.
8s and 12s respectively.
Lovely stuff. 310, the Coral Distaff. Decent old race this. How do you bet, Rob Catterson of Paddy Power?
Right, we've a new favourite in the last couple of hours, Snow Moon for John Gosling. That's a 7-2 market leader. 4-1 about Sharaka. Also 4-1 about Wilhelmina. Colin O'Donoghue who rides. She's been the best backed all morning. 6s make fast, 15-2 bar.
Tell you what, I know it's not the greatest Eclipse of all time, but it's still a very interesting race, and the undercard is excellent, isn't it, Graham?
Yeah, very competitive as well. Good from a betting perspective. This race, I was quite like Alan Mode, who, I mean, if this was a handicap, would be giving weight to all of them. It comes in off a couple of terrible runs. I think you can put a line through both of those. 8th last year surely wasn't her true form, maybe over the top. I couldn't put my finger on it, but was never in that race. Last time out, Royal Ascot, again, well beaten, but raced alone. And just never had any chance in a huge field handicap. This would be a different sort of race. Again, I've got a nice draw and still one and bred to get further than a mile, despite doing most of her racing over shorter, mainly over 7 furlongs. It wouldn't surprise me if from stall 1 they bounced her out and tried to make all. And given her pedigree, she might prove difficult to pass. She's quite a good price as well.
OK, what do you think, Paul?
Yeah, no, I like this race. I think Snow Moon was a big talking horse. Won a bad maiden very easily. Then everyone moaned about the ride she got next time at Newby, but at the end of the day, she just didn't pick up. She dropped in trip. I don't think she's anywhere near as good as he thinks she is. She makes a market for Wilhelmina, who really, really impressed me last time. It was only a maiden she won, but she did it from the front. She just skipped away and won really, really easily. She's definitely up to this grade, and she's going to be in the right position in the race at the right time.
And we're there tomorrow, Kills, aren't we?
We are.
Are you there, G-Rod?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. So we'll all be watching
We'll
it.
be smashing it up.
By 3:10, you'll have had a few down you, won't you?
Yes, it'll be. This will not be beaten.
Excellent. We'll have a good old chorus of that on the balcony. Brilliant stuff. OK, well, that is Sandown done and dusted. Unless anyone's got anything else that isn't their best bet of the day that they want to mention. Anyone maybe got a shout for Palisader in the marathon or anything, or should we kick on with Haydock?
Let's kick on with Haydock. That 2-mile race is impossible.
Impossible? There's no such thing, Kills, in your book as an impossible
Well, I've found
race.
a winner for you.
Yeah, you'll be having 8 bets by tomorrow afternoon. OK, let's talk about Haydock.
Here's Paddy Power's latest horse racing offer. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second to the SP Fav at one meeting every day this month. Paddy Power, you're welcome. Max free bet £25, 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
OK, welcome back. It's Bruce Millington, Graham Rodway, Paul Keeley, and from Paddy Power, Rob Catterson. Before we touch on Haydock, we forgot to ask Rob who his fancy is in the 3:10 at Sandown, the Coral Distaff. Sorry, Rob.
No worries, no major opinion, but I'd give Sharaka a good chance. She ran well in the Sandringham when she was slightly unlucky, and she had 3 or 4 Ds behind her that day, so she could be the one to beat.
We may look back on this broadcast and think, thank goodness we got that in because it was the only winner we got. Hopefully not, though. We've got some decent action at Haydock, including in the 2:15, the Bet365 Lancashire Oaks. Kills, you have fond memories of this race, don't you?
Yeah, a few years ago I backed Bathsheba at a big price. She was 25 to 1 in the morning. I couldn't believe the price she was. I ended up with a big Rule 4 because the second favourite came out, but she bolted up, proved very good, won it again the next year. Mother of Arabian Queen, one of my favourite mares.
Excellent. Well, before we get the lads' views on this race, Rob Catterson, how do Paddy Power bet on the Lancashire Oaks?
OK, good renewal. Endless Time, the Godolphin mare, is the 5-2 market leader. It's in 11-2 about Nightflower, the German raider. 13-2 Furia Cruzada. John Godson's been farming this race in recent years. She's one of 2 runners for him. Lovely Things is 13-2 and at 7's bar.
Some great racing tomorrow, Graham, isn't there?
Yeah.
And here's another one. Who do you like?
I can see why Endless Time's favourite. She had some smart form last year, beat Simple Verse, comes in here first time. That won't be a worry because Charlie Appleby said this would be the big target from the start. So I expect Endless Time to be very hard to beat, but I'm more interested in backing Loving Things at the price for Luca Kumani. I was impressed with the way this won quite a useful race at Pontefract last time. Certainly for that, of course, Barsanti, who I think is quite smart, was back in third. Now, Loving Things looks like a typical Luca Kumani improver. He's flying along as well, the trainer. I think Loving Things will run really well.
Paul Keeley.
Yeah, can't really have Endless Time. All that improvement on fast ground last season. I know she's won on soft, but that was in a handicap of a mark of 76. And she hasn't got the best form in the race, and she's 5-2, and she hasn't run for nearly 3/4 of a year. So I wouldn't be touching her at 5-2. You're guaranteed to be getting bigger than that, surely. The German raider I like, Nightflower. She's a Group 1 winner on soft ground. She's arguably got the best form in the race, along with Furio Cruzado, who is also a Group 1 winner on soft ground. It's going to be quite deep and sticky there at Haydock. It was heavy in places this morning. And I think Night Flower, she did disappoint first time up, but she was probably being primed for this. They're not bringing her over here just for a day out. And I just like her form on soft ground. I think she's the best horse in the race.
OK, very apt that on the day that Germany play Italy in the Euro quarter-finals, Graham fancies the Italian trainer Luca Cumani's Loving Things, and Paul Keeley fancies the German raider Night Flower. Who do you fancy, Rob Catterson?
Yeah, I'm really sweet on the John Gosden filly Furia Cruzada. I'm a massive fan of Usherette, and she beat everything bar her at Royal Ascot. She's a two-time Group 1 winner in Argentina. She's a Chilean bred, and I think she could be one of the top mares come the end of the season. She's 13-2, and there's no way she'll be that price come post time. A
very international flavour to the lads' selections there for a race somewhere in East Lancashire. 250, the Bet365 Old Newton Cup. I think it's 19 declared, so we're going to get all sorts of... We'd be unlucky not to get each way 4 places in this, lads, wouldn't we? Even though, you always look at these and think, there's going to be at least 4 drop out. So hopefully we'll be able to get full each way terms. And the leading contenders in Paddy Power's eyes are Rob Catterson.
OK, as it follows, Giretto, the second at Epsom the last day, well backed, 9-2 market leader. Desert Encounter has won its last 3, is 13-2. Then we've got First Sitting at 7s, Green Light at 9s, 12s, and Bigger the remainder. OK, Graham.
Real headache. Tough race. I'm keen to be against Giretto. Best form at Ascot. Bit below par last time at Epsom. I was certainly a little bit disappointed with that. And also, most of the best form going right-handed. I'd just be interested to see how he handles this big field going the other way. Too short at the price for me. I'll probably take a chance on Walters Meat, who ran second in quite a hot race at Newmarket last time. That's thrown up the Northumberland Plate winner, was fourth Antiquarium in that race. I think the third Plutocracy will win races as well. However, Mark Johnson does say that he doesn't like soft ground, which is obviously a slight concern. We'll have to see how it's riding at Haydock. If Paul's right and it is really heavy, then maybe I'll temper my stakes a little bit. But I think Walters Meat's got a solid form chance.
Who do you like, Paul?
Yeah, I thought you'd have taken over this one, actually. Bruce just told everybody that Green Light was
I'm about to, yeah. I thought I'd give you a chance to waste your words.
Giretto is favourite, having been beaten 5 3/4 by Green Light. Now, Giretto did lose a shoe in that race, but, I mean, if you looked at the way that race was run, so what? I mean, Green Light came through from the back, the only horse to come from anywhere near the back, sliced through him like a knife through butter and won easily. If he was a 4-year-old after just 6 runs, he'd be about 5-2 in this race, and he's 9-1. Now, I was writing this as a view to tipping it on Monday, and then I had a look at his form and I said, well, hang on a minute, he won first time out last year. That's his first win at Epsom. His Epsom win was his first win at a handicap in 15 starts, and I went right off him. The only thing I would say is the ground has gone more and more in his favour all week, and his price has held up. He hasn't got any shorter, so he's beginning to look to me like a bit of value.
You're learning. And the king, Rafe Beckett, the greatest trainer in the world, he's in great form as well.
He is in great form, but he's really not. He's a high strike rate trainer, and he does really well, deservedly so. But the one I've come around to at a bigger price is Penglai Pavilion, who went to John Ferguson, had a decent early campaign over hurdles last year. And Godolphin could have got rid of him, but they had him back. And he ran in the Ascot Stakes, where he just pulled so fiercely, ridiculously hard.
Tom put him up, I think, didn't he?
No chance whatsoever. He tipped him. He tipped him for that race. I mean, the horse just pulled his chance away. He had no chance. But he actually didn't run too badly. Now, going back to his flat form over 1.5 miles, he was 5th in Trev's Arc. Ran to an RPR then of 118. So he's running off 94. His hurdles form tells you he's still got a hell of a lot of ability, and he's a double-figure price. He does like soft ground. He's won on heavy ground on the continent, so I think he'd go well at a price. OK, and Rob, who's your fancy?
Yeah, you've mentioned the 2 Green Light, who's got the beating of Giretto, has won his last 2. The ground won't be a bother to him. And Penglai Pavilion, £24 lower than he was at one stage. And he ran well in the Ascot Stakes, as Paul said. And there's been money for him as well the last 24 hours, so he looks good value.
Excellent stuff. Right, are we clear to do bets of the week? What do you think, lads? Yeah? Let's get stuck in.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win, I will be absolutely staggered. I think it's a stone-cold certainty.
Right, I'm going to go first. Green Light in the Old Newton Cup. Graham Rodway.
Yeah, the last race at Sandown is called Paling, trained by Roger Tarleton, ridden by Ryan Moore. Stable absolutely flying. I liked the race that this one finished second in at Goodwood last time. I thought it was quite a hot contest. There was a horse in fourth called Sam Missile, who I think is very smart, and he had that one well beat. I'm expecting him to improve for the distance. There's a lot more to come from Paling, 4:55 Sandown.
Keels?
Yeah, I expect Wilhelmina to take it up with about 3 or 4 to run at Sandown in the Cold Distaff 3:10, and she'll just stay there.
Excellent. Rob Catterson?
Yeah, it's got to be Furia Crusada in the Lancashire Oaks. Not quite a Brendan Duke mortgage job, but I'd be gobsmacked if she didn't go close.
Brendan Duke doesn't have a mortgage. He paid that off ages ago, didn't he? Right, weekend plans. Gerard, you're joining us at Sandown on Saturday?
I am, yeah, looking forward to it.
And what about Sunday? Day off?
Sunday I'm working, yeah, so yeah.
You don't view it as work, do you? You just mean you're in the office. Keels?
Picking winners.
Yeah, with you on the lash tomorrow and recovering all day Sunday.
Okay, and what about you, Rob? What does the weekend hold?
You'll hear me in the Paddy Power shops tomorrow. And
what time do you start? How long's that shift?
Tomorrow it's a 12-hour shift, 8:30 to 9:30. So.
What, are you talking all the time?
Well, we get the odd break here and there, but sure, it's better to be watching the racing than not, isn't it?
And is it banter, or is it stuff like forecast at Crayford was 1467? Or is it a mixture of everything?
That's a mixture of everything, and obviously we've got the football tomorrow night, so and it's good. Saturdays look after themselves.
Can you punt all day while you're doing it as well?
You can if you want, yeah.
Really? Sure, you got to focus, haven't you? That sounds like a long old shift there. I bet you
It's dangerous to
12-hour pump fest.
You need a good job. And then Sunday, Rob?
Mine and the little one by the sounds of it.
Oh, lovely, excellent. Well, have a nice one. Okay, thank you very much, folks. Hope you all win plenty this week. Hope the lads are giving you some decent tips. Please do join us on Monday when we will be looking back on the Eclipse and all the other action, and also ahead to the July Festival at Newmarket.
The Race and Postcast in association with Paddy Power. They prize support UK and Irish racing the night before.